Hey, thanks for joining me. So I really have a fondness for these Rollei twin lens cameras. I love the form factor. I love the way they work. You know, the waist level view. The just I don't know the functionality of them. I really enjoy. I love the imagery they produce. I love the square format. There's just a lot I really love about using these. And the thing is, these days, the cost of film being what it is, you know, there's times when I just, I tend to be very intentional about my cameras, film cameras, when I'm shooting pictures with them. I plan what I want to shoot on film. I go out and take those pictures, but I don't just go out and play with a film camera very often. And I know it's really maybe not playing, but there's times when I want to go out and take pictures just kind of for fun, not very intentionally. And I'd like to be able to have the look and the functionality of that twin lens, but do it on digital. If somebody actually made a twin lens digital camera that, not a toy, but one that actually kind of worked, I'd kind of be in for that. So, enter the Olympus Pen E-P5. It's one of my favorite cameras. It's been around a long time. It's not obviously a new camera, but there's some things about this camera that I think really work for me for this. Number one, the flip screen. I can flip the screen up. I've got my waist level view, and I can use it much in the same way. I've got this set to square format. Got it set to monochrome because I usually shoot black and white film in my Rolleis. And this Panasonic 20 millimeter f1.7 lens is not only is a great lens, but when set to square format, the field of view using this lens is almost exactly the same as the field of view I get from my Rollei cords. You know, comparing viewfinder to viewfinder, they look almost identical. So my experiment today is I'm at the farmer's market in Oklahoma City, and there's an old truck here that's in kind of a garden display and some buildings. And I use these as subjects for a test roll I shot on my Rollei Cord 4 not too long ago. I've got those images. I've got them on my tablet, so I can try to basically stand in the same places, the same angles, and try to see how closely I can duplicate those images. Now, obviously, I can get in the same spot. I've got the same field of view. I can duplicate the image in that regard probably pretty closely. The big difference is going to be the fact that I'm shooting with a 20 millimeter lens instead of 75. I've got a lot more depth of field than the Rollei does. And, can I make the imagery even look similar? So what I'm going to try to do, when I shoot the Rolleis, I tend to shoot them around f8, f11, maybe f5.6. I try not to shoot them wide open too much. The Schneider Xenar is a Tessar prescription lens, and it's okay if you shoot it wide open, but it's not going to have the image quality that it will if you stop it down. This Panasonic lens on this camera has probably image quality equal to the Schneider at f8 or f11 if I shoot it wide open, especially considering I'll be cropping out the edges of the image where some of the image degradation happens when you shoot wide open. So I'll be using basically the central part of the image of this lens. I should be able to shoot it at f1.7 or f2 maybe, and hopefully compress my depth of field enough to have a similar look. Anyway, it's an experiment. I don't really know exactly how this is going to turn out. Mainly what I'm going to do, though, is try to get these pictures taken, and then we'll run through the images side by side, looking at the digital versus the film, and make a comparison. We'll talk through those, and then we'll see how all that works out.
Okay, let's take a look at these images. Now, the image on the left is always going to be from the Olympus EP5, and the picture on the right is from a Rollei Cord 4. So we're, looking at the digital image on the left and the film image on the right. I have not, these are JPEGs straight out of the camera. I've got the camera set to monotone and square format, and these are the JPEGs that have those settings applied to them. So I haven't done any editing to the digital images. They're straight out of the camera shot today. So if we look at the image on the left compared to the right, though, I think one of the first things I see if we look in the background areas is that indeed the Rolleicord, the medium format image, does have less depth of field. The background's a little softer. Now, I'm stopped down to f8 on the Rolleicord image, on the film image, and on the digital image, I'm sitting at f1.7. So I am able to, by opening the lens all the way up, produce similar results in terms of background blur. And I'm relatively close to the truck, so I don't think it's too bad. If you took the image on the left and I told you that it was shot with my Rolleicord, you'd probably just believe that. So I think it's a pretty close resemblance. Now, today was sunnier, and so you can see the side of the truck is much brighter, and there's some pretty harder contrast in the image on the left comparatively because of the brightness. It was somewhat cloudy on the day I shot the pictures with the Rolleicord. Still, they both have good contrast. They have good sharpness, but you can see that difference in depth of field. And still, the image from the EP5 kind of has that 3D pop that you want by getting that background separation where the foreground's nice and sharp and the background's a little bit softer, and it makes that nice separation. So I don't know. All in all, I think it's a good illustration of what the camera is capable of. Okay, so looking at the second image, we're looking at the side of this truck, and I got the angles wrong. I didn't notice it till I actually looked at the images, but you can see the windshield on the truck in the Rolleicord, and I'm at a different angle with the EP5, so you can't see the windshield. Again, you look at some of the background, like this overhang from this pavilion. You can see the corner of it's softer in the film image from the Rolleicord than it is from the EP5. Still, there's nice separation. I think you get, that kind of sense of foreground background separation that you're looking for. One of the things that kind of struck me when I looked at these images, if I zoom in just a little bit, you notice that if you're looking at some of the fine detail, I'm going to have to give the edge and sharpness to the Rolleicord. So this 1954 4-element lens, and obviously it's a much bigger piece of film compared to the sensor size of the EP5, but I guess I kind of thought the EP5 would beat it. Now the EP5 I'm shooting at f1.7 and the Rolleicord's at f8, so obviously if I were to stop the EP5 down, I would think it would perform a little bit better, but I thought it was kind of interesting that Rolleicord absolutely is holding its own in terms of image quality. Um, so that was a little bit of a surprise to me. Okay, let's look at the next image. Here we've got the truck from the other side, not quite as close to the truck this time, and you notice this Texaco sign in the background. My angle's not perfect, but what's interesting is that the sharpness of the Texaco sign and some of these buildings over here on the right is somewhat similar. Now, again, it's sunny today, and so the background, the difference in exposure is significant. But I think it's kind of interesting that when you're not quite as close to your subject, the difference in background separation really diminishes. And now the image from the EP5 is even more similar to that from the Rolleicord in terms of that foreground background. And there's still, you can kind of get from the EP5 image, you can kind of get this nice separation from the background, that kind of 3D pop that you're looking for in those kind of images. And so I don't know. I think it's a good illustration that it is possible. This experiment, I guess you might say, does illustrate that if I want to take the EP5 out and create images that have that look that you would get from the Rolleicord, I think it's completely possible. So the the image quality from them is really quite similar. I'm actually quite pleased with the way this turned out. Okay, looking at the fourth image, obviously I got my angles way off here. You can see this corner, the top right corner of the EP5 image has a round Texaco, another one of those Texaco signs in the edge of the image. I completely didn't see that when I was taking the pictures, and my angles are all off. I was kind of in a hurry, and I should have paid more attention. I guess realistically, if I wanted to do a perfect comparison, I would take a picture with each camera side by side, do one, then do the other, and then go process the film. But I thought it'd be convenient to use some pictures I already had that I took recently, and for the most part, I think for these illustrations that it tells the tale. I think that's fine. But What's interesting again is a very similar look to the image. The EP5 is capable of generating an image that would be hard to tell from the Rolleicord image. And again, the sunlight was pretty bright. I did not try to adjust the exposure down on this in post or anything. This is straight out of the camera JPEGs. If I were to tone the brightness down just a little bit, your skies would get darker. I think you get a little bit more detail on your stucco. And I don't think it's completely blown out, but I think if we were to stop it down or darken it just a tiny bit, I think we'd get a little bit more of that texture from the stucco. But anyway, I think it's a decent comparison. On this image with the EP5, I did have the red filtering turned on, and I added 2 steps of contrast to it to get that dark sky, high contrast look that I would typically gain by putting a red filter on it. And in fact, the image from the Rolleicord, I was using a 25A red filter, which is why I turned the filtering on in the EP5, so I wanted to kind of match that. So the Rolleicord image was shot with a 25A red, and with the EP5, I've got the virtual red filter turned on and the contrast boosted a couple steps. So, all right, well, let's look at the next and the last image. Again, this is the same building from another angle. Nothing really striking here, other than the thing that, again, I'm kind of surprised a little bit at is that the detail in the image from the Rolleicord. Now, again, the brightness of the image may kind of diffuse the sharpness a little bit, but if you compare these, I'm going to have to give the edge and sharpness to the Rolleicord. And here, now this is kind of interesting. I had to shoot this EP5 image at f4 in order to, even with the ISO set at its lowest setting, I had to shoot it at f4 in order to bring the shutter speed down below an 8,000th of a second. And so this is not wide open. This is at f4, which is kind of in that zone of best image quality for the EP5. I was a little bit surprised I didn't get a little bit better image quality out of it. Now, I haven't done any sharpening or anything like that in post. And the EP5 is not a bad image at all. It's nice and sharp, but I got to give the edge to the Rolleicord. I mean, there's not much difference between the two, and maybe it's just the increased, the less brightness and the increasing contrast that kind of comes with that. Maybe that's making the Rollei images look a little sharper, but either way, 1954 Rolleicord compared to this modern, relatively modern lens for this Olympus. I think what you take away from this is that one should not discount the image quality capabilities of an inexpensive Rolleicord camera. And if you're thinking about buying a Rolleicord versus a Rolleiflex or something and wanting to, trying to justify that $1,000 for that planar or Xanatar lens, I'm not sure. I mean, I've had a Rollei with a Xanatar in it, and it was fine, but I can't say that this Rolleicord, stopped down just a little bit to f8. I can't say that the Xanatar, at a similar aperture was any better. Now I'm sure the Xanatar is better wide open, but man, this is looking pretty good. So anyway, that's the 5 images. I hope some of that was interesting to look at. I think the test is kind of successful. I think I can use the EP5 to create images that are really similar to what you get from that Rolleicord. And then if I want to commit something to film, I can certainly shoot it with film also. Anyway, I think the experiment was a success.
Well, I hope seeing some of those images was helpful. I think I got pretty close. I think that I can come relatively close to duplicating the imagery, that I got from the Rolleicord. Obviously, there's some differences. When I was able to, in the shade, and I could shoot at f1.7, I was able to compress the depth of field, maybe not quite as much, but pretty close. And, when it's out in bright sunlight, one thing I quickly found out is that I can't shoot at f1.7. Even with the ISO set to its lowest setting, I'm way over on shutter speed. 8,000th of a second is the max on this camera, and that wasn't enough. So I'm going to have to get a neutral density filter if I want to do this out in bright sunlight. That way I can shoot at those wide open apertures and compress the depth of field. But again, I think I can get pretty close to mimicking the look. It's not exact, and I didn't expect it would be exactly the same, obviously. But I think it's close enough that I can enjoy the process and enjoy the images that I get from it. And then if I see something I really wish was on film, I can always go back and shoot it with a Rollei. So anyway, I hope that was interesting to look at. If you have any thoughts or questions, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment. I always love hearing from you. And as always, thanks for watching.